Hey, good day. Welcome to another episode of the Raw Report. Son, I want to start calling these little things. I don't know. I don't want to call it a Raw Report because that's a little different format. I might call this Freedom on Fire. I don't know. I don't know. But these are usually things that I do while I'm on the go. And I'm actually on my phone just reading the news and going through the news while I'm on the subway or the ferry. It's too cold to be on the ferry. And I'm constantly reading the news because I'm a junkie like that. And sometimes I can't wait to get home to put this in a show format. So I put it in a format like this. And I'm going to try to keep these things quick and instead of doing like an hour, 30 minutes to hour show. I really need to work on all that stuff. Bear with me. I want to get free. I want to get the Rob Report done in 15 to 30 minutes. Um, and the Bobby Brown Show is going to be an hour show, a weekly show. And something like this is a quickie. Okay. And it's like my wife when she used to come home and say, "Hurry up, I gotta go back to work." I'm like, it's gonna take me longer than 15 minutes. You do know that, so, but nevertheless, um, so in the USA Today, it says Supreme Court refuses for now to hear appeal of decision threatening Affordable Care Act. Um, Here's my deal. I'm not a fan of the Affordable Care Act. It is better than anything that we've had previously. It does put people in a position where they can get more low cost health care. I do. I don't hate Obama for that. I just hate the fact that he punked out to get that. Now it's here. I I have some problems with it. It doesn't cover everybody. We still got a lot of people uninsured. Millions of people. Too many people uninsured. So it really didn't bring universal health care. It didn't bring Medicare for all. It didn't bring, single payer or nothing like that. And they even left out the public option. And right now, the Democrats, all they want to do is put in the public option. People like Bernie Sanders want to go full Medicare, and I'm all for that. That's one of the policies I do support of Bernie Sanders. We're in America. It just don't make sense. Most of the countries that are thriving take care of their people. Their people don't come out of pocket most of the time for that. And if they do come out of pocket, it's so freaking low, it's ridiculous. It's like me and this legal plan. I keep telling people, you're not going to come primarily out of your pocket as part of the membership. Monthly fee, you get all this service for that one monthly fee. And for the one monthly fee, just one service I would pay monthly for. But I get all this other stuff. I get, like they do in the infomercial. But wait, there's more. So with the Affordable Care Act, we don't get that. Everybody's not covered, and everything is not covered. And but it's still better than what we had before. It's still better than what we had before. I don't understand why Obama went with the Mitt Romney Heritage Foundation version instead of just doing a Trumpy move. Try to push your policies through the first couple of years. And if you don't push it through, executive order. And see, here's the thing about it. We got so much freaking money in so many different areas. We're paying so much money on some of the dumbest things. And that's what Obama ran for. Obama ran that he's going to look at the books and see if there's things we foolishly paying for. And we're going to cut that off and take that money and put it into healthcare, put it into housing and things like that. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Well, look here. We're going to take a fine tooth comb, like Sean Puffy, and we're going to comb right through this, and we're going to find the wasted pork, and we're going to put this money back in the hands of the American people. And that's what I do. I'm Obama. I'm out. What's up, Michelle? Love your girl. Smooth talk. We just assumed he was going to do that. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. But nevertheless, let's listen to this.
The Supreme Court became more conservative last October when Associate Justice Brett Kavanaugh replaced retiring Associate Justice Anthony Kennedy. And that has become the theme of the term in 2018 and probably will continue to be so leading into the 2019 and 2020 terms and for years to come. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg recently spoke in upstate New York, and she said the biggest development on the court all term, even though they've had 50 or more decisions, has been the replacement of Justice Kennedy by Justice Kavanaugh. So in theory, we now have a conservative court with 5 justices appointed by Republican presidents and 4 justices appointed by Democratic presidents. But ironically, the goal of the court under Chief Justice John Roberts has become not to behave like that. Anthony Kennedy was the last of the swing justices, like Justice Sandra Day O'Connor before him. Chief Justice Roberts has become the center of the court following Anthony Kennedy's retirement, which makes his administration of the court, as you will, the fact that he is sort of the Chief Justice making decisions for the court, even more ironic that he's the one who's ultimately going to decide these cases. Cases this year, like the census and the gerrymandering cases next year, like DACA or LGBT rights or gun rights. Roberts is right in the center on all of those issues, and how he votes may ultimately determine how the court votes. So he, on the one hand, wants to be non-controversial and non-ideological, and on the other hand, people are going to be writing that he decided the case. So he is in a position that he's never been in before. He's in his 14th year, going into his 15th year as Chief Justice. He's never been the swing justice, but with Anthony Kennedy gone and Brett Kavanaugh having replaced him, Neil Gorsuch having replaced Antonin Scalia, Roberts is the closest thing to the man in the middle. One other thing that should be said about the court is not all these cases are controversial. Each term, about a third to 40% of the cases are decided 9-0. And you have on the one hand a Sonia Sotomayor or a Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and on the other hand a Clarence Thomas or a Samuel Alito aligning in a case, all voting the same way because the case frankly is not ideological. And that continues to happen, and the court under Roberts, again, seeking compromise and seeking minimalism where he can. He doesn't want the court to stand out in American society as the decider of so many volatile issues because these are unelected judges after all. He'll be looking for as many chances for unanimity as he can find.
Now, you can't copyright strike me because I'm going straight from the news article. Okay. All right. So it says Supreme Court refused Tuesday to decide on a fast-track basis the fate of the landmark Affordable Care Act following a federal appeals court ruling that essential health insurance mandate is unconstitutional. I'm not really for the mandate. I mean, I just take a tax out. Just call it a tax. But I'd rather you tax me a little bit versus hit me with $500, $600, $700 fine every year. Just tax me a little bit. Tax me a little bit, and that way we can take care of Medicare for all. I don't mind that. I don't mind my money going to an investment, especially when I personally plan on extracting the value out of it. Because I plan on getting healthy. I plan on getting the checkups. I plan on doing all that stuff. They say by refusing to step in now, the justices likely blocked the third Supreme Court test of the controversial health care law from an election year docket already teeming with a major case on abortion, immigration, gun control, gay rights, freedom of religion, subpoenas seeking President Donald Trump's tax and financial record. The justice would have been considered 2010 law for the third time in 8 years, not including challenges to part of the law, such as its requirement that women receive free coverage for contraceptives. That rule will come before the high courts this spring, also for the third time. Me, honestly speaking, look, I don't roll like that. I'm a committed guy. I'm not a player. Those days are gone. But when I needed contraceptives, I went to the free clinic. This, to me, this being in this bill, it doesn't faze me because we need to go back to having these clinics. We need to go back to having these health centered. We don't have enough, and they're dying out, especially in the inner cities. You know, I mean, brother, wake up with the wrong girl. I mean, wake up having a good night, and next thing you know, he on fire. You went to the free clinic for that. Got that shot, bada boom, bada bang. You was out of there. Shot in the butt. I'm just, these are things that people go through. Free clinic was there. So, like I said, the Affordable Care Act, certain things we shouldn't even be going to court over, wasting taxpayers' dollars over. Gun control, I really think that, to me, I'm not for taking guns out of the hand of Americans. I am for certain things we need to put in place to keep certain people from having guns and certain people from having different types of guns and building up a whole arsenal full of guns. Using gun collecting as an excuse to have all these assault weapons. I believe if you, number one, assault weapons should not be in the hands of private people, especially ones with mobs and things like that. So I can go on and on and on that we got these laws out here, and by us having people that was not elected by the people, I think it's really important that these Supreme Court leaders really gradually take their time on certain issues. And some issues are more of an urgent issue, like the gun control issue, because we know another school shooting is on the way. We know another event shooting is on the way because you got evil people out here that can get access to weapons, and they can fly below the radar. And next thing you know, we got another massacre going on. And that's the reason why, to me, that need to be dealt with. And I've owned guns. I love guns. I'm from Virginia. I like to go hunting and all that kind of stuff. Don't mess with my guns. And if a bear come in my yard, I used to stay in the country, man. A bear or something coming in, I need my gun. I don't need no AK-47 to shred a freaking bear to pieces. So saying this, it said the justice would have been considered 2010 law for the third time in 8 years, not including challenges to part of the law, such as it requires that women receive free coverage. We went over that. A panel of the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit, based in New Orleans, ruled last month that the government cannot force most consumers to buy health insurance because Congress in 2017 eliminated the tax penalty used to enforce the requirement, and sent the case back to federal district court to decide whether other parts of the law can be saved without so-called individual mandate. Now, look, you guys go, I'm not a proponent of reading the whole story. You go online and look at this. But here's my thought on this. Nobody should be forced to do anything by the federal government. Now, taking the tax out, that's a different story. But telling me I have to buy this insurance or I'm going to be penalized, that's not American. And a lot of people are upset at Tulsi Gabbard because Tulsi Gabbard's idea of Medicare for all is not Bernie's. As if Bernie is the king of what Medicare for all really means. Medicare for all just means everybody being able to get Medicare. Right? Medicare for all get Medicare. That's basically what it is. And different countries have different ways of doing it. They have different ways of getting the money to doing this. Now, I lean more on the Bernie Sanders version of Medicare for all, not Tulsi's, but I don't want to be like Obamacare, penalize people if they don't buy into the program. My thing is, just take a little tax out of people's program, and that way Medicare for all is available to everybody. That's more the Bernie Sanders version, where there's a small tax taken out of our earnings, or cutting down military funding or whatever it takes to fund this thing. I'm all for it. It's just like with the housing issue. I believe everybody should have their own house, but I don't believe everybody should be homeless, unless they choose to, because you got some people that choose to be homeless and they don't want to, they feel like anyway, I'll talk about that in another video series, but there's some people that just don't want no help. They just want to be free. So they'll rather freeze to death in the cold under a cardboard box than get the help that they need because they don't want to be under government telling them what to do. And I get that, but come on, bro, it's cold outside and you're gonna freeze to death, you'll die out of here. But nevertheless, I'm all I'm not a fan of Affordable Care Act. It is better than what we have. We do need to upgrade. Stop using this talking point, Democrats, to make it look like somebody who's trying to get us something better, that they're trying to scrap it, trying to get rid of it and throw people off. No, there's a transition from Obamacare into full Medicare for all. There's a transition. Stop with this line crap. Okay, bunch of liars. Anybody that says that, tell them stop lying in their face. Stop lying, man. No, there's a transition from Medicare for all, Obamacare to Medicare. In other words, we're going to be able to transition this thing within a couple of years, and we have a way to pay for it. There is a way to pay for it. You know, there's a way to pay for just about every freaking thing in the United States. We got so much freaking money and so much just sitting around, let alone money tied up in things that we shouldn't be paying for. That's why when people came to me, where are we going to get the money for reparation? The money for reparation has always been there, and probably always been there stacked up with interest. The money is there. It's just that, are you going to allocate the funds to do what you're supposed to do to erase this horrible sin on America? To finally put people in a position, especially black people in a position, where they're truly equal. Not just in, I mean, not just in, rights as American citizens, but in wealth, in the ability to build our own personal America, our ability to get the American dream. We've been left out of that. We never got that, but yet there's laws passed allowing other people to come into this country to be able to achieve the American dream quicker than we can because they got access to resources that we never had access to, and the government never gave us that access. But that's another story. Anyway, I'm done with this. Right now, I'm glad they put it on pause. And right now, I am for making sure we have a system that everybody get access to health care, no matter how extreme or how trivial or how traumatic it is. It doesn't come out of their pocket where it really literally bankrupt them. Most Americans right now are emergency away from bankruptcy. One incident, they go to the hospital, they're going to be thrown off for a while. I myself, my whole phone, everything got cut off and I got behind because I ended up in the hospital. That should not happen. Should not happen. And people shouldn't have to sell their house and go out of debt. You know what it's like putting your home up for mortgage to get the money to get your spouse the treatment that they need to get better. And let's say they do get better. Now you're in debt and you might lose your house if you get sick now. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. I'm Robert Brown with the Rob Report. I'll holler at you later. I love you. I got something coming up at 12 o'clock. Hang in there.